Hey guys, Lunarcomplex here, and welcome to another tutorial on how to do something in RPG Maker VX Ace. And what I'm going to teach you guys how to do is make this stunning looking cloud effect. Look at it go. See that it's all shadowy over here okay, it does not interfere with the menu. I never thought about that. And how like light it is over here, but not like right here. And look at it over there, and yeah, look at the clouds. Oh, that's so cool. And look, the clouds, the clouds are independent from the window that you're playing from. So they don't, it's not just a picture that is stationary to the window that you're playing. It actually is attached to the game world. So, yeah. Let's get started. Alright guys, so what you're going to want to do first is load up your RPG Maker VX Ace development kit tool program, whatever thing you want to call it. I'm going to load it in administrative mode. Alright, so once you have this loaded, what you're going to do is click new project and then name it whatever, project 9, yeah, that's fine. And I have it saved to my desktop so that it's easily accessible. Then go to map properties. This is just what I like to do. I like to have the tiles set to be exterior just because I think it looks a lot better. And then just, there you go. Now what you're going to want to do is find an image online. So we go to online, and I already have an image here, but Google search RPG Maker VX Ace images, cloud shadows, that sort of stuff, and kind of click one of these and, you know, pick whichever shadow you want. So like, oh, that's actually a pretty good one. So like, I don't know, this or something. I think that's the shadow I picked, and you just want to make sure that the shadow part you want is black. So like this right here, this and that is black, and this part is white. So what you're gonna do is right click, save image as pack fog. Sure, okay. And then we'll just download that. All right, so as soon as you download your file to your desktop here, you can see that it has no transparency. See, it's the white is there, and we don't want that to be there. We want it to be transparent. So I'm gonna open up GIMP 2. It's just a video editing. That'd be amazing. It's just an image editor program. So yeah, just load up GIMP, and you could download it free on the web. It's perfectly fine. It's a pretty good tool. It has everything you need. As soon as you have it open, you're gonna Control O to open a file. Go to your desktop and open up that file that you just downloaded. So it's right here. Now what we're gonna do is go to Image. Colors, color to alpha, so it picks out all the white and just gets rid of it, and hit OK. And now that we have the image transparent, that's very good. We're on good track here. Now what we're going to do is hit Control Shift Export, and we're going to export it with, this is very important to name it a certain way in the beginning. So what you're going to do is hit the kind of square bracket, and in all caps type in fixed, and then another square bracket to close it. And then the rest here, you could name it whatever, that doesn't matter, as long as it begins with this. And then hit export, and then hit export again, and there you go. So it's just created the file, it just took the white out, and there it is. And then you can get rid of GIMP. You don't have to save, and just get rid of it. Go away, GIMP. All right, now what you're going to want to do is go back to your RPG Maker VX Ace. I'm going to go ahead full screen, and import graphic pictures, import the fixed pack fog file that you just got. And if we preview it, we can see that yes, indeed, it is transparent. So that's good. That's very good. Now I'm gonna hit save. What we're gonna do is click here, double click there, and then control switch. Now the control switch we're gonna use is in 2, and we're gonna call it clouds. We're going to call it display clouds. Disk clouds, really? Did I just completely forget to right play? Display clouds. Hit OK. Make sure it turns it on. Yes, it's on. Okay, great. Now we're going to also erase the event after. And we're going to make it a parallel process. So those two, parallel process. Okay, there it is. And now that we have that, what I also like to do in the beginning of every game I make is double click near the character and create an event, and have this flip on a switch, and the switch is in 1 called start game, and then hit OK. Make sure it turns it on. Yes, And this is a bit different than the other switch we just created. This switch will actually turn itself off forever. So go to Control Self Switch A, turn that on, create a new page, and Self Switch A is on. And make sure, this is very important, make sure you check those triggers, because if you trigger this an action button and you forget that, it's a very easy step to forget. So we need this to be parallel process. And I'm not sure if auto run works the same, but I have dealt with parallel process and it seems to work fine. So it's gonna turn switch 1 on and just turn itself off forever. So that's good. Just save, play this to make sure it's running, make sure nothing's wrong. Yep, looks good to me. Okay. Now that we have that done, so we have typically on the outside of every map you're gonna make that's outside, so not in a building, you're gonna have this event right here, this guy right here. And you could just, in the next map you make, say you new map 2, sure, why not? As soon as you make that, you're gonna go to map 1, you're gonna copy that, Control C, and then Control V to paste it right in here. So I don't know, we'll pick, I really just don't like the tile set. Exterior. It's going to be desert because, well, why not? It's different, right? Save. Whoop, didn't mean that. Save. Okay, there you go. So this is kind of the thing where as soon as you're outside, the character's outside, it just turns the display clouds on. All right, so as soon as that's done, what you're going to do is go to database and go to your common events. Name, I like to name this the same as the switch. Start game, trigger. This is definitely parallel process. I know that for sure. And it's going to be triggered by the start game. And in here, what you're going to do is nothing yet, I believe. So we're just going to leave that be. Switch 2, however, is going to be called display clouds. Trigger, parallel, and the conditional switch is going to be display clouds. What this does is, let's go to page 2, show picture, and then just go to this. There you go. Hit OK, save. You might want to change the transparency, but I'll see that in a sec. So hit new game, and boom, clouds. There you go. Look at the clouds. They're so bad. All right, so they're bad because we didn't change a few things. So what we're gonna do is go back to your database, common events, common event 2, contents, and then click this and just hit space, and or you can right click and edit. And basically what we're going to do is change the opacity to 128. Boom, there you go. Control save and Control S to save, and then F12 to hit play, and then play your game, and there you go. So we're kind of getting there. The clouds are a little bit more shadowy, and it does pull shadow on the character and on anything you decide to put on here because, well, clouds are your highest point if you don't count the sun in a game. So you have sun, clouds, and then you have everything the clouds are casting their shadow on. Now, you may have noticed these clouds aren't moving. So what we have to do is move them. But before that, you could see that there's a line there and a line there. We don't like that. We need to match that up with the game window. So to do that, we have to figure out a couple things. The amount of squares or tiles or pixels, this is by how many it is. So if you count from this tile to this tile, or if you just right click, go to map properties, we could see that it is 17 tiles width and 13 tiles height. So width is 17, height is 13. Why is this important? Because if you get your calculator out, we're gonna have to multiply these numbers by 32. So the width is gonna be 17 times 32. So 544. Make sure you write that number down or you put that number somewhere. And I'm gonna leave that right there or over here because the width goes first and then height goes second. So load up another calculator. Move it over here, I guess. And then type in 13 times 32. So now you know what the height of the game window is in pixels. Now that you have those two numbers, what you're going to do is open up GIMP again. So just left click GIMP, let it load everything, blah, blah, blah. I don't know why it takes so long. All right. Once you have GIMP open, you're going to hit Control N for a new file. And then you're going to, I'm sure you guys have probably already figured this out. The width here is going to be, can you stop going away? It's going to be the larger number basically, so 544. And then whatever this number is, 416, is going to be your height. 416. Hit OK. There you go. So now we have the correct size we need. And now we're going to hit Control while GIMP is opened. Control O to open a new file. We're going to open up the fixed packfog file. So just hit open, and there it is. So we have that there as well. Now, click the new file we just created, so make sure it's your active window, and then go to Colors, Color to Alpha, hit OK, and now it gets rid of the white and everything's transparent. Next, what you're going to want to do is click the file we opened, and make sure you hit Control A, so select everything, and then Control C, so copy everything. Then select your new window you created where you deleted the white, and then Control V to paste it. Now you may be thinking, oh, that's not the right size though. Well, Shift T lets you change the size. Now, if you want it to snap to your canvas edges here, you're going to go to View. I don't know why it's in View. I always thought that was weird. Snap to canvas edges. So now if we move this over here, it can snap to the edge right there. And then what you're going to do is hit Enter, and then Control Shift E to export it. And what I'm going to do is export it over what we already put. So replace it. And then you can just get rid of all of this. We don't need this. We don't need that. We don't need this. Get rid of these two numbers. I could probably remember them, so they're fine. Yeah. And then just hit cancel on that. All right. Now what we're going to have to do is replace that image file we created. So go to your resources, go to graphics, pictures, blah, blah, blah. Go ahead, delete that one. You don't need it. Import in the new one we created, which if you're not sure, you can kind of select it and then hover your mouse over and make sure it's the 544 by 416. So just, open that. We could preview it, and there it is. We can see it's a lot bigger than the preview in the previous one. Then hit close. And now we go to the common database, common events, and instead of showing picture 1 fixed pack fog, you're going to make sure it's this one instead of the other one we did before. And then hit OK. Save. F12 to play test it. New game. All right, there we go. We have it now over the whole entire view of our game. And when you create a default game map, whatever, a new map without any kind of load sample map, it's always going to be this size. And that's not necessarily a problem. We just have to kind of alter a few things. So as soon as we have this up and running, we have to go on to the next step, making it move. All right, so to make it move, what you're going to want to do is go to Common Events, Display Clouds, and go to wherever you displayed that picture. And right under it, double click, and we're going to create two new variables, Cloud X and Cloud Y. So go to Control Variable, hit this 3 dots there. And I like to put these in, you can put them anywhere. Let's just put them in 1. So Cloud X, and then Cloud Y. Now we're going to start with X, so just go ahead and highlight that, click OK, and we're going to add a number to it. We're going to add -1 over and over. So click this, and you can Control C to copy it, and Control V to paste it right there. Hit space, make sure you change the one you copied to Y instead of X, because you'll have redundancy if you don't. And then what you're going to do is select the Show Picture command up here, edit it by right-click Edit or hit space, and we're going to change its display position to Cloud X and Cloud Y. So make sure X matches with X and Y matches with Y. Hit OK, and then OK, save, F12, new game. So now we have the clouds moving. Yay! Look at that, they're moving. But they may be moving too fast. And obviously they're not repeating themselves. I'll get to that. So what we're going to do is make them move a little bit slower. So what we're going to do is have a pause at the end here, or a wait. We're going to wait, I'm not sure how much it was, 5? Let's see what 5 does. Okay, that's a bit slower, but I'm gonna go ahead and make it, whoops, 15, because I believe I had it 15 before. Yeah, you see how they're moving a little bit slower. So yeah, now what we have to do is fix that line edging that's happening there. But before we get into that, I also want to fix another thing ahead of time, and that is, what if this map is bigger? Like, what if we go to right click, map properties, increase these each by 10. All right, so the map's bigger, and make sure you fill up all that right there. Hit save, play. Now, the problem we have is the clouds are moving with us, and also they're moving up and to the left. So we gotta stop that. And it stops if you move where the screen isn't moving. So if you move into a corner over here, but as soon as you move away from that screen over there, or away from that side of the map, the screen's going to go ahead and move the image with itself. We do not want that. We do not like that. It is horrible. And there's like 13 lines of code that can help us fix this. So what we're going to do is we're going to get that script. And what you're going to do is, I'll put the link in the description, but basically the link shows you this page. So fixed pictures. So we're going to select it, copy it, go to our RPGMVXA file, go to scripts, and go down here. And what I like to do is insert a few times. Oh, I just hit delete. Whoops, cancel. Cancel that. Click this and go to insert a few times and give us some space. And paste that right in there. And then call this fixed pictures. All right. So what it does is, if our picture starts with that bracket square thing and then all caps fixed and then closes it, it's going to be fixed to the actual entire map's coordinates, not to the screen's coordinates. So if we hit play, I can kind of show you guys this. So as soon as we walk down here, see how it's independent from the window? It sticks to the map, and that's good. That's what we want. But now it's not moving, because if we look in the script, or in the code, I guess, we see that it calls self, it gives the value for its self X and self Y 0. So that means it's stuck to the very top of the screen, or the very top left corner. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of extra stuff to this script. Not too much, but it is a bit of a change. What we're going to do is, instead of setting X and Y to 0, we're going to set them to these right here, variable 1 and variable 2. And now to do that, we have to figure out how to call those variables. So I believe it is, get rid of the 0, type in $game variables 1. I believe that is right. If not, we'll get a huge error telling us, hey, that's not right. And then variables 2. Hit OK, save, play test it, hit enter. There you go. So now we have in the script, it, instead of being 0 and being just stuck there forever, because the reason why it was 0 is because it's kind of a way to have shadows that are permanent, not moving with the sun. So like if you see a house and you want a better shadow, you'd put an image over it of a shadow instead of using the default little image or shadow thing right there. So now that we have a working shadow like this in any sort of sized map, we have to get rid of this ugly looking line thing that it shows. So what we're going to do is, this is a little bit more confusing than before. So you're going to have to figure out double the image, how to do that sort of thing. Make sure that we fill in those extra little gaps. And what's really cool about this shadow image, it may not be the same for all of you guys, but the image here is, how can I get to the image in a quick manner? Graphics here, preview. So this image, it self-replicates itself. So basically this end here is going to be attached to that end, and this end, if we bring this image here and we bring it down here and add it to itself, you could see that this part connects to that part, that connects to there, and so on and so forth. So we're going to go to GIMP again, and this should be the last time we go to GIMP. GIMP's a very great program, guys, if you're editing little tiny sprites. You're going to hit Control Open, or Control O, Control O, and go ahead and open the the latest one we've exported. All right, so once you open up this file, what you're going to do is Control A, Control C, and then Control N to make a new one. And make sure, and what you're going to want to do is make sure you set the width to double, so 1088 by double that is 832. Now that we have this, what we're going to do is go to colors, color to alpha, hit OK, and then what we're going to do is paste this in. Hit M to move it, and we're going to try as well as we can to move it to the edge here. I wonder if view snap to edges works. Yes, it does. All right, we're going to snap it to the edge there. All right, next, we're going to paste it again and snap it right to the edge. There we go. Look at that. Wow, that would have saved me hours before. And then we're going to do it again. And then we're going to do it again. Now, you may have noticed there's some faint looking lines in here. I'm trusting on your skill, you can get rid of those on your own. So what you're going to do is just zoom in a bit, kind of match that color with the paintbrush here, and kind of go down here and just kind of go over that a few times, kind of blend that in a bit more. I'm not a blending artist, so I'm not going to really try and, that's not the point of this video. So after you have the image copied on itself like 4 times, you're going to hit Control Shift Export, and go ahead, go to your desktop, export it over the same exact image like we did before, because we're never going to use it. Replace it, export. Once that's done, you can close GIMP forever. I don't think we'll ever need it, except when you have, when you have changed map sizes, you're going to obviously need it. We're going to delete that one that we used, and we're going to import this one that we just brought in. And then if you want to, you can preview it. Definitely a lot bigger, and it's an image that, continues itself. So this block here is the same as that block, and it matches up. Hit close, and go to your common events. The picture, you're going to change the image again like we did before. And yeah, so we're going to hit OK, save. And when we play this now, the image is going to continue on itself once you get down here. See that line? You can still see the line where the image again repeats itself. But like I said before, blend that in, test it out, make sure you make it look exactly like you want. The reason why I wanted to copy the same image 3 more times onto itself is because when this image down here, so when this image here eventually gets back all the way, up here in the top left, the same problem is gonna happen we had before, where it's gonna have to continue itself somehow to continue displaying clouds. It's just gonna move itself out of the whole game window entirely. And I can kind of show you that, guys, if we go to here and we type in 25 and 25. So if we hit play, new game, now the clouds are moving really, really fast. So as soon as the bottommost right cloud moves, we're gonna have the same problem. The picture's going away from us. What are we doing? So what you're gonna have to do, or what I already anticipated, was to copy the cloud image more than once, so like 3 times, so like we just did before. And what we're going to do is, in the game start, we're going to put a condition here where is it? Oh, it's page 1, control branch. So when variable, you can pick whichever one of these, cloud X's, cloud Y's, you want. Just make sure you know which one you picked. When variable cloud X is going to be less than or equal to Now this is kind of the tricky part. You have to figure out X. So the X there, let's get rid of that and get rid of that. Whoops. So what we're going to do is go to File Explorer, go to your desktop, go to the image we had here, and you could tell its X is 1088. So once your X is half of that, so 512. So if we go to -5, no, it was 544. I'm sorry. If we go to 544, so once that cloud X variable reaches equal to or less than -544, because if you remember we put negative there, we're going to have the variable, both the variables, cloud X and cloud Y, become 0, like are set back to 0. So make sure that's cloud Y. There you go. The X and Y in my game, my maps are, they're square basically, and because they're all gridded up. But in this case, they're not. It is rectangular, so I have to actually do another conditional branch. Make sure that your Y, make sure it's half of the 832, which is 416. So -416. So as soon as it equals that or lower, just like in our X, we set cloud Y's variable to 0. Now, we can have X dividing itself by 17 all the time, but we can't have cloud Y. And I'm guessing that the reason X is 17 so nicely is because we just divided it enough to go to 17 and it's 17 tiles. Before, our height was 13 on our Y. So I'm just going to type in 13. And now you should be able to see that this line over here goes right through our player because our player starts in the middle. And it does. All right. So now you should be able to notice kind of no transition of the cloud. Yes! I didn't see anything. Did you guys see it? Let's see it again. Let's watch it. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Look at that. That's repeating clouds right there. It's just moving that image up, and then as soon as the image repeats itself on the same window, it moves it back down. Now that we have that, if you change the size of this map, you're going to have to go through that whole process again. It's a little bit, you know, it's a lot of work, which is why I would advise you guys to kind of make the whole map, you know, make it so that it's all square and all the same, at least. So like if you make another map like this, make sure it is 17 by 13 or else you're going to have some big problems ahead of you. And also, let's just make a little transition here. I just want to make sure all of this works for you guys. So as soon as our character walks over to the left, we're going to have, I don't know why I keep double clicking. We're going to have a transfer to the second map over here. All right. And then once the guy's over here, whoops, he's going to have a transfer to over here. All right, and I did misplace where this is supposed to go, so just edit this so that, you know, it goes here and not onto the transfer that transfers it back here. So as soon as we have that, we're going to hit play, see what happens, and we're going to walk over to the left, get transferred, and there you go. So the clouds still continue, and they still loop, so if we look back right now, you notice no looping. That's great. And then move back over here. And I believe the same image is still going across. Yeah, so the image is still exactly where it is if you transfer between the two. Now, imagine if you want to go indoors, right? So what you're going to do is, you know, this event right here that says display clouds, you're going to copy it. And you're going to, well, we're going to delete that one. We're going to paste it there. Well, actually, no. So that still has it on. We're going to make a little tiny house here, like a really simple house. So I guess we'll add a roof onto it. Why not? And then there it is. Boop. All right, so we have that. We're gonna double click. Oh, we need to make a load sample map. So sample maps are fine in their different sizes. Instead of, all of your sizes being the same, these could be whatever, as long as they're, inside a building or something, right? So we're gonna just choose Mountain Village, whatever, interior to something. And we're gonna put a create transfer here. And actually, you know what I like to do? I like to create the transfers right on here. And I'll tell you why in a sec. So transfer, it's going to transfer us to the spot outside where I'm going to place the door. And we're also going to edit this so that that goes there. Then we're going to edit this once more. And we're going to find a clear black graphic. I'm not sure if they actually have any completely black graphics. Really, guys? You don't have a just all black? All right, well, you guys can figure this isn't really important. This is just what I like to do. I like to add a black blank tile, so like this, for example. So if you ignore, I'll show you guys when we get there. So the door here, create event, door, it's going to bring us to right there. All right, so save. And before I forget, I like to put all my events at the top up here. This guy is going to turn off display clouds. So save, hit F12, play. All right, so the clouds are moving. We can move down, we can move whatever. We're going to go into the desert. All right. Now, we're going to go in the desert house. All right, so, you see that the clouds have shown themselves. Well, that's because it's still displayed. All right, and now what we have to do is go to our common events, go to start game, add another conditional branch. So conditional branch, switch display clouds is off. So when display clouds is off, what it's going to do is go to erase picture 1. All right, so there you go. That's really kind of it, I believe, unless like something freaks out because I have no idea why. We're gonna go over here. We're gonna go in house 2. Boop. All right, and the picture's gone. So that's how you do it, guys. And so if you just ignore the light coming from there, it looks like nothing is right there, and so it kind of looks like you go more outside the house. Instead of just walking here and being transported, you can just pretend like you're walking outside the house and you're out here now. So yeah, that's kind of it for this tutorial, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and yeah, that's how you do clouds and turn them off and turn them on and such. And thanks for watching.